Good morning, everyone, and welcome to next episode Manage Users, Groups, OUs in Active Directory Windows Server 2025. So let's talk about with the users first, and then group, and then to the OU. Now, users. So, user is an actual identity as an employee which actually logging onto the client machine. So example, you have an Active Directory server and this is a machine, client machine, which is joined with kumarcorp.com as a company domain. So in this identity, we have three different identity who can log in on this machine. Suppose this machine is CL01. So first is a local identity, CL01 slash a username, say admin. We called as local admin of the machine. Second, when I join this machine with a domain, and definitely we have Kumar Corp administrator, which is my domain admin. So domain admin can also log in into this machine. The third, I have created an employee, name is John. So John means kumarcorp.com slash John can also log in. So maximum on this client machine, three identities can log in: local admin, domain admin, and local user or domain user called employee. The only condition is I have two employees, example John and Alex. So anyone can log in on this machine. The only condition is the client always be a part of domain. So overall three identities and after that, if it is a domain identity, we can define login hours, we can do a password reset, we can define login only to one machine or one client machine. Example, I have two machines in my environment. One is AD02, one is CL02. These are all client machines right now. So as by default, user can log in on any machine. So this is my Active Directory AD01. So by default, user can log in on this any machine who is a part of my domain. But now I want user can log in only to a CL1. So we define log on locally or login specific to the machine. So we will see login hours, password reset, how we log in to a specific machine. So let's try to create some users, John and Alex. So I go to my Active Directory machine and right click new user, say John. I'm not defining anything in any OU. Put some password. As a best practice, normally we do user must change password at next logon. Right now I'm not doing. So we have one user right now as a John. So I'll go to my AD02, which is part of my domain. So other user, K-Corp. So if I say user John and try to log in, John can log in on 02. And at the same time, John can log in on CL01. So it means by default John can log in on any machine who is a part of Active Directory domain kumarcorp.com. So now if I log in and show you who am I, so I am a Kumar Corp user John, and user John even cannot change any date and time because it's a normal user. So now tomorrow John forget the password. So as a Active Directory admin, we can disable the account, add to a group, and reset the password. So now John's new password is something else. So when I log off on a client machine, John can log in from a different password. So now, as you see, how to reset the password. Now my local time, let's see, 9:31 a.m. on the machine, and I go to a time clock example. So say UTC, my India time, 5:30. So by default, user can log in 24/7 on these client machines. So I have decided, okay, you can log in only 9 to 5. So right now my time is 9:30 a.m. Go to the properties of the user account, log on hours. So first log on deny and say you can log in only after 5 p.m. or say after 2. Log on permitted. So it means you can log in on this 1 p.m. to 12 a.m. only. So now let's try to log in. So you see, your account has time restriction that prevents you to sign in at this time. So that's called account login hours restrictions. So I'll back to the defaults right now. And we have a 2 client computers, AD02, CL01. So I want user can log in only to the CL01. By default, I show you can log in on any client machine which is a part of my kumarcorp.com. So I go to the user properties and account, log on to. By default, you can log in on all the machines. The following machine, so say CL01. Let me see, CL01 is correct, CL01, right? So let's try to log in CL01 first with the same user, and there should not be any problem. Timing is also allowed and machine is also allowed. Looks good. But at the same time, when I try to log in with John on my another machine, your account is configured to prevent you from using this PC. So it means technically you can log in only on CL1. So I'll make this as a default now, so you can log into any machine by default. Now he's a contractor, so his contract is for 2 years until unless it's renewed by the HR department. So you can define your 2 years timeline. That's called login expiry as a contractor. So rest, I think it should be fine, and we will see to the next component. And next component is groups. So groups are two types. When you go to the Active Directory machine, right click, new group. One is domain, local, global, universal, security, and distribution. So group scope and group types. So group scope are two types. One is a security group, one is a distribution group. So if your target is for allow permission in your Active Directory environment, printer permission, some role-based permissions, you use security group. If your target is DL, distribution list, example, on an Exchange server, when you send an email to a sales department, sales@abc.com, and email will receive by all the employees part of that DL. So for email distribution, we use the distribution group. Third, scope. We have a domain local, we have a global, and you have a universal. These are the three domain scope. We have scope is visibility. So I will explain this visibility with a proper diagram. So now example, visibility. Domain local visibility is within a domain. Let me do a little zoom. So now domain local visibility is within a domain. So what is the best practice? Example, we have a domain of abc.com and we have a printer and we need to assign printer permission to some users, and we created a domain local group, name is printer, and we already given a print permission to this group. So, and this printer permission group is created in hanu.com. So now I have a department group. If I add this department group into this DL, definitely department group also got printer permission. So that should be fine, within a domain, single domain. I have a child domain, us.hanu, and here also we have a department and department users, and we need to give printer permission. So if we can add this group into the DL of the printer, this way my job is easy, and we already have a printer permission on this group DL. But this DL visibility is within a domain. It means from a child domain I can't see this DL. That's why I created a GL, global group. Global group visibility is parent domain, child domain, entire forest. So my department group is to be into this GL, GL into the DL, DL we already have a permission. Permission always be into the DL group. So looks good. I have a trust with a TCS.com, Active Directory Trust, and I have some department groups. So if I add this group into my GL or local, my job is over. TCS, employees can also see the printer permission. But the problem is I cannot add this group into the DL as well as global. DL is visible within a domain, within here, and this GL is visible within a forest. So I need to create a universal group. So department group should be a part of universal group, and universal we can add into this DL and printer permission already there. So it means if you have a single domain, domain local group work into the picture. If you have a global or multiple domains in a single forest, global group come into the picture. And if you have two different forests and AD trust, you need a universal group. So universal group is visible across the forest. So now I'm creating a group called say sales global security group, and right click John, add to a group called sales. So if you see John is a member of sales group. By default, user always be a member of domain user. And if I go to the sales and members, definitely John is a member, and this group is not a member of any other group as of now. So tomorrow, if I need to give a printer permission, share folder permission, I can do with a group or to the group. Next is OU. OU is a very critical component in Active Directory. So OU is used to organize the AD objects. We have millions of users, groups, computers, OUs, share folders. So all this object, how you streamline based on your business units. So we have a root Active Directory. So we have two offices, one is in New York, one is in Prague, Czech Republic, and then we have two departments, and then we have users. So it means country. So you can organize this your AD objects based on root level, domain level, based on department, based on country where your office exists. So all this structure you can do it. So, and on top you can implement a group policy also. So we will see in the group policy in the next episode. So example, I want to implement a policy for all the employees. I'll put it into the domain level. Only for New York employees in this OU. Only for New York IT employees. So you have the bifurcation with you. So that's why OU is a container which contain users, groups, computers, another OU, sub OU, and it organizes the AD objects. And on top, you can implement a group policy. So I'm going to do this structure, root level, office. Office has two departments and two users. So right click, new OU. So we have country USA, USA has one office is in New OU, office in New York. New York has two departments, department sales, and New York itself has two departments, IT, and in sales we have two users. Sales 01, so that easily you remember sales 01 is a part of sales OU. and sales 02. IT, we have two users, IT01 IT02. So thank you for joining this episode 4, and we will see episode 5 with built-in groups, permissions, and delegation. Thank you for watching this series.